plant-based dads. I'm Tim. So the last few weeks we've been showing some recipes with Swiss chard, and we said we've gotten this from our garden. Well, after some feedback, questions, just curiosity, as well as people want to learn, I'll show the raised beds that we've got going on in our property. I really love this, so I'm happy to share. So these are the raised beds that we got out of a company in Canada. We'll have a link below for that. It is self-watering underneath, so in case we leave for the weekend, it's being taken care of. It's got this cover, which is great. It allowed our plants to make it through all through summer in like 115 degree weather. Everything's just fine. Because I had the west sun being blocked, this also protects newborn seedlings from weather, wind, that sort of thing. So I wanted to have this up to show you, but we're gonna be taking it off. Right now we're experiencing mild weather, but should it thunderstorm, I'll put it back up to kind of protect the young plants. We're starting a new bed for planting today. So I wanted to show you at this point what we do with our soil composition. Luckily, I have a couple friends whose parents or grandparents are master gardeners. They kind of all say the same thing about half of my soil needs to be raised bed garden soil. Then I'm adding some mulch, organic. I'm adding some mushroom compost. And then I'm also adding some peat moss. And this is gonna help store water in here and still give the breathability it needs. So we're at 50%. You can just see how this is pretty loose. When you've watered this for a season, it gets pretty compact. So I'm stirring kind of everything up. I do have gloves for this, that's funny. Let me put in some gloves. Add some mushroom compost. So I'm going to break up these clumps. It's good to have the gloves on. Right now I'm kind of leveling everything, pushing down. I think I've got our garden bed pulled together with the moss, our mushroom compost, we've got some growing mulch, and then some topsoil, garden soil in there as well. So that's all mixed up. We've got our layer of mushroom compost. I think we're ready to begin planting. So last spring we planted peppers, Swiss chard, and tomatoes. Definitely the Swiss chard is still growing. It's still producing as we're cutting each month, each plant. So that's doing really well. What we decided to do now, since it's gonna be colder weather, is to grow cabbage and celery. We'll see how this goes. I'm excited to give celery or cabbages gifts, canning jars to do a fermentation for people. That's so good for your gut, right? All right, so that's our plan. We still have behind us, which I'll show you, our bell pepper and our Swiss chard going. So we're gonna leave that raised bed alone, just keep those plants going since they're doing so well. Last spring, I raised plants from seeds. And this year, since we got kind of a late start, I brought some that are already mid-plant, ready to go. So I needed to worry about spacing. How big are these plants gonna get? So we're probably gonna space them 3. Cabbage gets pretty big, so we're gonna do 3 here in the front, and then celery will probably do about 5. And then I have another bucket where I'll put one of these plants for the cabbage to grow as well. So that's kind of my strategy or thinking at this point. So let's get started. So, I don't know if you can see this plant, there's still some root here. So when I get this to be leveled, I'm gonna come in with the seeder and it's gonna cover this part up. So this is planted perfect for me to transplant and use it with the way I want. Again, we'll prop that up with the seeder when we put that in. Okay, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever grown celery in my life, so this will be interesting. I don't know how this will come up, but we'll be having subsequent videos giving you updates, so this will be kind of fun. This looks good to me, so we'll start this out. I love these darker leaves. It looks so different than everything else we're planting. It's kind of nice. You know, we buy celery at Costco, comes already like cut and clean and just the celery hearts, right? So this will be good to harvest. Now that we've had this planted, how am I going to water? What am I going to do? So I feel like they're too young yet to use a hose. So I'll be using a watering can or tin and just gently watering this. This is the spout for the watering system, the self-watering system. So underneath all this soil is a tray with holes for water. And what I've known is that when you have water in there, the roots grow pretty fast to get down to that water. I don't know, I just thought the plants grew really fast in these raised beds, and it might have been for that reason. So I'm gonna have water down in there. It's gonna get things from the mushroom compost for sure, but it's gonna give a goal for these plants to get rooted really well. And maybe that was why the success of the other plants making it through the summer, having such a good root system. So that's what I'm banking on again. I've done this to all our planted plants and trees, the base, putting cedar in just to help hold moisture again, and also the pest control. To me, this looks awesome. I think we're gonna have a great year, and we're gonna give you some updates on this bed as we grow things and as things mature. I think this part of the video, I wanted to take you to our other bed from the spring that's still functioning. Just to give you an idea what your potential is with a raised bed. I'm still trying to decide what to do with the pomegranate trees I bought. I thought it was a good idea. So I gotta find a place in the yard yet to plant these. You can already see since the cuttings that I've got baby growth already, okay? Baby growth here, baby growth as well. So I think it's time for a little bit more mushroom compost, and then I'm gonna put the cedar over this as well to protect from bugs, and also get it ready to keep warm for the winter and all that. So. So we've got some mushroom compost over here. I've already treated this dirt over here with a little refresh of everything. So we're gonna plant one celery plant, one cabbage plant. So this is the raised bed that keeps giving. So Love it. You can see there's a lot of blossoms, mini peppers here starting again. I've put in some wire supports just because the plant just keeps growing and growing, and you know, why take down a living thing, right? If I don't have to. I think that's everything for right now. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and be part of the Plant-Based Dads family. Remember, there's the Facebook group too for support if you want to do the starch solution with Joey and I. Okay, talk to you guys soon in the next update. Bye.